Yeah, you know the biggest problem I see with Liverpool at the moment, and the fans could be shouting at me now, they are missing Trent Alexander-Arnold, and so is Salah is missing Trent. Everyone criticised Trent about his defending, but what Liverpool did is they dominated the possession a lot. And Trent's passing, we said it on there many times, he's one of the best passers of the ball ever. And at the moment, everyone would say, but he'd get back into his shape. Konate's not in good form, so you obviously Konate last season was fantastic. You look at left-back Kirkes, it's not the Kirkes that we saw at Bournemouth, but sometimes you're going to a bigger football club like Liverpool, it's going to be hard. He's got to defend more. When he was at Bournemouth, no one's really looking at him to do his defending. He was going forward and he had Howson and Sabani, and their back four was really good. It's different now. These new players have gone into the team and they haven't adapted yet. It's going to take time, and Liverpool will get it right and it will click, but at the moment they've got players that are out of form. Even the midfield three. He went back to his tried and trusted midfield three on the weekend. They're miles off it at the moment, and they'll probably be the first to say, apart from Szoboszlai, I think he's probably been their best player. He's probably been the best right back and their best midfielder. But you can't play him in both positions. You miss him playing him in midfield. But it's just teething problems for Liverpool. I don't worry for Liverpool. Yeah, it's bad. I know they've lost three on the bounce, and the fans might start worrying. But he's a good manager. He came in last season, and everyone was looking at him saying, "Can he do a job?" He's filling big shoes of Jurgen Klopp. I think Liverpool will be fine.
Welcome back to the Premier League show. 3 defeats in a week for Liverpool. And what is the difference in their defending from the title-winning season to the start of this, the 25-26 season? One area to look at is how Liverpool are defending this season. Now, using tracking data from last season, we can illustrate the positions of Liverpool players across the whole campaign when they are defending against an opposition attack. So this is their out-of-possession shape. Now, you see a lot of teams defending in a 4-4-2 these days, but last season, Liverpool did it differently. Obviously, compact shape, with usually Trent Alexander-Arnold as the right-back here. Now, the significant thing to look at here is Mo Salah. This position here, defending in a slightly higher area. The reward for that would be on the counter-attack. Salah starting in a higher position means that he can get away and be closer, obviously, to the opposition goal. Salah was at the heart of everything for Liverpool last season. It worked to great effect. So that looks pretty good.
He's got problems all over the park. I mean, he's got a superstar who's not playing well in Mo Salah, and he's not working very hard either defensively. And you saw some of the players getting frustrated with him. He's got a problem at right back because he's lost Alexander-Arnold's passing range and that dynamism. OK, defensively he was always quite weak there, but he's lost that. He's brought in one of the best left-backs in the Premier League in Kirkes, who's just lost his confidence and his form, and I think is about to get dropped for Andy Roberts. I think he's going to have to bring Robertson back into the team. So the whole backline's not working right. The midfield's not working right. You've dropped your superstar again for one of the biggest games of the English domestic season away from home. You've benched him, and I know they chased Alexanderisak for it seemed weeks, if not months, and I know he cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he played him, and I'm not blaming Alexanderisak. Maybe he needs game time, but your best player up until his stupid booking in the Carabao Cup, I think it was Hugo Ekitike, not Alexanderisak. And you play your best players, and Ekitike was on great form and is on great form. And so some of these decisions from Arne Slot are baffling. From not this game, but starting Szoboszlai at right back in the Champions League, which he's done before, which he reneged on in this Chelsea game, because we talked about it in midweek. Square pegs and round holes is a difficult sell. So Arne Slot last year did a lot of things right. A lot. And yeah, they ran out of steam at the end of the season, but he did a lot of things right. And we touched on it primarily with Steve. He said every time he does something, it works. Whether it's a substitute coming off or a player coming off. The league table will tell you it's been a good start, but the eyes will tell you there's a lot of problems.
So far this season, again, we're looking at Mo Salah in this position, still taking up that higher role, ready to counter-attack. But what's going on around him has changed significantly. First to the striker, Isak or Hugo Ekitike has been starting in that position. Again, their role is much higher as well. And on the left-hand side, last season, and usually this season, Cody Gakpo in a 4-3-3 would be around here last season, but it's much deeper. It's almost a central midfield role with the number 10, Szoboszlai or Wirtz, sitting in front. The other thing to note here is that the defensive midfield, everybody has shuffled across slightly to try and protect the right back, whether that's Bradley, Szoboszlai or Jeremy Frimpong. So the trade-off that Arne Slot has is interesting, and whether he's willing to make it so long as Salah is replicating his form from last season. However, it has not been a good start to the season for the...
A lot of problems. And he doesn't seem to, at this moment in time, to have the answer. And the midfield's a problem, the back line's a problem, Mo Salah's an issue, and what does he do with Isak and Ekitike? And he's got all these things to figure out because they are not playing well and haven't been for the bulk of the season. From the Community Shield, when Nathan and I were at it, and we watched the game and we watched their defence, and we said, okay, he's got that to work on, he's got that to work on, he's got that to work on, partnerships all across the back four, balance in the midfield. We are, 2.5 months into the new season or whatever it is, and he has got more problems now than he did on match day 1.
I think Arne Slot has got some figuring out to do here. And while in his press conference he's kind of making a point, and I think it's a pretty ridiculous statement to make when you start talking about the second half and how much better we were in the second half. Well, you're chasing the game at this point. You know, I thought Chelsea were deserving of their halftime lead. They, in the end, were deserving of their 3 points. And for you to just be clinging to, well, we were a little bit better in the second half, it speaks to the issues that you have. And whether it's Alexanderisak, who had a gilt-edged opportunity, gilt-edged header that he should have done better with, got a little bit lucky with the assist, if you ask me. Arne Slot has got some big decisions to make here. Around Alexanderisak, around Mo Salah, Florian Wirtz came off the bench and then all of a sudden announced himself to the game with wonderful effect. And yes, Liverpool were better in the second half. Can Arne Slot make those big decisions to get Liverpool right? Because whatever it is, it's, despite their position in the table, it's not clicking right now. And he needs to shake things up significantly.
And then this conundrum about how do we get Florian Wirtz into this team? How does he get him into the team to make them tick and get his confidence up and get him to do the kind of things we know that he can do and he did do in Germany for many a year as a youngster, which he still is, a young player. And I know, again, I go back to it, Ekitike has been your best front man. Mm-hmm. He's been scoring goals. He's been linking the play up. He's been dropping into good positions to drag defenders out and let others get in behind. Are we buckling to... And I suppose this is maybe slightly hypocritical, because if you're trying to get Florian Wirtz into the team, then why would you try and get Alexanderisak into the team? But, you know, they got 2 strikers, so they've got an option there. They haven't got 2 playmakers per se. And so I felt the Isak inclusion was, you know, he's the big money guy. You know, I've got to get him some game time. If I was Ekitike, I would not be happy. And I go back to the defence. I do feel, and it's unfortunate, but I do feel he's going to have to take Kerkez out of the heat. I think at the moment it's too hot for him. I think he's probably getting a bit of an ear bashing from Van Dijk, who's his sort of partner in there, and you know, Van Dijk's getting under pressure because Kerkez is getting in bad positions. And I think he's going to have to, for the short term anyway, go back and put the experience of Andy Robertson back into the side, just to try and get the basics right and stem the flow. So a lot of big decisions to make for Arne Slot. But what we know is, at this moment in time, if it continues the way it is for them, they're not going to put a run of results together. Not the way they're playing. Not positive results anyway.